Happy New Year, everyone. I'm in some random spot in Pasadena near the Rose Bowl, where it looks like Indiana just handled Alabama, which is crazy. I didn't watch it. Been working, doing stuff all day, jumping on this New Year day, trying to make some stuff happen. So, Happy New Year, everyone. Probably already said that. There's like this beautiful mountain thing here. Like these clouds where I am. I just thought it was a beautiful backdrop. I'm like, California has some really beautiful areas. This whole state is like, I'm an upstate New Yorker originally. I've traveled around from Syracuse originally, college in Philly near Villanova. I went to Villanova, lived near Villanova, and then New York City for 8 years. And then been in LA ever since. And so, pretty much since 2003. How you doing? Happy New Year. And there are just some beautiful spots out here. I've been to California when I was younger, up north. Been to Big Sur, San Francisco, Carmel. I've been to San Diego, Tehachapi a couple years ago during the pandemic. Went to this cloistered Norbertine monastery. That was amazing. But obviously it's not just LA. There's a lot to do in this beautiful state, in this beautiful country. I've been to Sonoma. Here's Sonoma Drive right here. And did a video game up there. Which one was that? It was the DLC, downloadable content for Mafia 3, where I played Connor Aldridge. That was pretty cool. I did like the facial scan here in LA with like this like dome globe of lights. It's like 1,000 lights that records every expression, micro expression. And then we did all like the physical movements, fighting sequences, walking, talking, running over by the Coppola winery in Sonoma. I got to visit the Redwoods again. And that was pretty cool. But anyways, I'm doing a little walk and talk here. Got a better view of these mountains right now. Look at this thing. Can't really tell with the phone, but it's pretty gorgeous. So, how's everybody doing? We're in 2026. XRP didn't move at all. There was a lot of predictions that maybe it would. Some people were like, it's crazy. I own a couple of those, so I was tracking it. But have a rehearsal for this play I'm doing a little bit later. First play I'm doing in 21 years. Or I say 20 years, since I became a dad. And I just love doing live theater. It's the best. Just connecting with people in a room. And it's kind of this shared experience with ideally a great script, which this one is. Written by Jane Anderson, Emmy Award-winning writer. Fantastic piece. I'm playing a character that's pretty much, it's very far from me. Kind of this, Southern hick, kind of racist guy. I'm an Italian-American upstate New York kid. A very multicultural household growing up. Foreign exchange students from all over the world, from every different culture. So he's far from me, but there's still humanity in this character. Whole thing has to deal with an adoption, and they've got like 4 kids already and a 5th one on the way, and they can't afford to take care of it, so they put them up for adoption. And this Jewish couple comes from Los Angeles that they do like film finance, so it's this kind of like fish out of water collision of 2 different cultures, but it's really about this baby, and all these adults kind of fighting about it. But it's amazing to be here, 2026. Definitely miss home. I guess where is home now? I've been out here longer than I was in Syracuse. And looks like a full moon too, which is pretty dope. But yeah, like I said, it's been a busy day. I've been running around just doing side hustles, trying to keep that earning pump on. As an artist, there are definitely times where Doesn't seem like things are hitting the account, but you got to just keep hustling and balance that with the, with the art. So this play opens January 16th in Sherman Oaks at the Whitefire Theater. It's called The Baby Dance. And looking forward to making some moves for my film. Laz is coming along nicely. And just to being a gun for a hire as an actor. That's what I've trained to do for like 30 years and been involved in so many great things and doing so many different types of characters. It's cool just to do something which is the role of me, and just share off the cuff like who I am and not hide in that way, which I've said before. But kept it pretty mellow last night. I was over at my girlfriend's place with my younger son, and she likes to like bang the pots and pans when the new year comes in, switching hands because my right hand is tired. I had a tripod, but I left it at home. And so we did that. It was raining. It was raining in New Year's Eve. In New Year's Eve, it was raining. On New Year's Eve. Rained on Christmas Eve. So good thing about that is it's dry out here. Because LA can be it's wet with the rain, so at least it's not dry is what I meant to say. And because last year, obviously, we started the way we started, so maybe this rain is a blessing. I'll turn around. These beautiful oranges over here. Some beautiful oranges. Let's go, Syracuse orange. That's where I'm from. People think I'm probably nuts recording this walking down the street, but why not, I could just be talking to somebody on the phone. And, the fact that I've got my own YouTube channel, right? My own walkie-talkie here in my hand to broadcast out to planet Earth and the solar system. Whoever else is out there, ET phone home. Yeah, I got to do some sensory work for this character because he's drunk for part of it. So there are some exercises I do for that. And I got to work on bringing some heat because it takes place in Shreveport where it's very, very hot. And the author specifically gives that it's hot as almost like a character, And so there's this technique I've learned with my acting coach, Tony Greco, who taught and coached the inimitable and wonderful Philip Seymour Hoffman, God bless his soul, one of the greats. And, it's via Lee Strasberg, a lot of actor studio connections, and just really working on things and bringing, personal things into and collaborating with, of course, the author. But, pick a day or an event. It's kind of like an overall sensation and see what I'm experiencing when I explore that sensation. And it helps recreate things out of a different part of the brain so that, you're not telegraphing or indicating, which you never want to do when you're acting or for anything in that matter. I'd like to get to Mass if I can at 6 because it is a holy day of obligation in the Catholic Church. They had one at 10 a.m., but I was up too late to get to that one. So that'd be a nice way. It's always, putting God first, like God first in the beginning of the year, the first fruits, Lights starting to kick down. We saw also got a FaceTime call from my girlfriend when there was a couple of B-2 stealth bombers that were flying over the sky in Burbank. And so we got an alert for a second because, crazy things have been happening in this world. But it turns out I think they were flying over the Rose Bowl just to kind of be on guard over there, which makes sense. And I was driving last night. I saw a big float being prepared for that. And wide load, it was a big truck. So what else is going on before I wrap? Just this idea of like leaning into, again, visibility, using the tools that are out there. I love to connect, especially in a room, you know, like with the play and stuff, and even being back in class in person is incredible. Movies are amazing. Television, you know, because you can reach so many people and create so many things, but at the end of the day, this art form, which is, the greats would say, the making a statue out of snow, because when you do something live, it just kind of evaporates in the moment. It's the art of the moment. But it's fun just to kind of return to that, you know, gather around a campfire and tell a story, or, you know, the way the Greeks would do it, and get together and just, like, sometimes they'd wear masks, but it was usually kind of a religious experience in the sense of to link back to the beginning. Where do we come from? What does this all mean? So I am a little Greek, actually, besides being Italian. I know it's very, very similar. They say una razza, una faccia is what I heard, but one race, one face. So my dad's family is Sicilian, Calabrian, and my mom is Roman, Puglia, and Pochino Greco, a little Spartan. My great-grandmother was from Sparta, 300. This is Sparta. It's a good flick. So, got a couple movies coming out. See what I can talk about. I've got this movie coming out called The Breakup Pill, directed by, or directorial debut by Tom Arnold, comedian from True Lies and Roseanne World and all that stuff. Very funny man, great guy. And it was cool. It was my first romantic comedy. Never did that before. Then I have this movie coming out called Stiletto, which I heard it's going to be on 1,500 screens, which is pretty cool. See if that happens, but that's pretty cool. It's kind of provocative. It's like Scream in a strip club. My character is this reporter that kind of goes in and out of these different worlds, and I'm in a few films with this same character. So I'm like in the world, but not of it, so to speak. So I never really go into the strip club in this situation. I'm just kind of reporting on the craziness that's happening. And then he shows up in 2 other films. One's called If It Bleeds, which is kind of like a nod to The Crypt Keeper, Tales from the Crypt. So it's like horror, but there's some humor to it. And funny enough, he's actually in it and voices one of the characters. And I grew up seeing Tales from the Crypt. So many actors that I admired that was in that, you know, that collaborated on that show over the years. And then same character, his name is Elijah Enoch, my character. And he also appears in this movie called Sweetest Day, which is based on a holiday, I think, in Ohio that's similar. It comes around like Halloween, but it's actually kind of like another Valentine's Day called Sweetest Day. So Elijah pops in there too as a more of like an anchor man, you know. I'm actually an anchor, you know, behind the desk instead of being like on the field in the other ones where I'm reporting on the crimes that are happening. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I'm in somewhere in Pasadena in this beautiful area, and I just saw the sunset and the magic hour, and I was like, I gotta pull over and you know, say hello, broadcast out. Let's get it this new year. A lot of gratitude. Keep hustling, keep pushing, surrender to the Almighty in everything that you do, and great things will happen. Stay humble, stay confident. Let's get some exercise in. I'm getting my steps in today. The guy's running around, inspiring. You know, we got this. Like, let's make this a really, really special year. Against all odds, you know. And tell some stories. All right, God bless. Believe again. Talk to y'all later.